Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everyone. Je m'appelle Madame Morseley. My name is Mrs. Morseley and I'm here today to teach you un peu de français, a little bit of French. So last term, year 1 and 2 learned Spanish with me and you were all absolutely amazing. I was so impressed. So impressed, in fact, I thought, you know what? They are going to absolutely whiz doing French, even at home. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. So hopefully you will be able to see what I can see and we're going to work through the lesson together. So this is going to be a 10-week lesson plan. So each week we're going to follow a different lesson to learn a little bit of French. So I know you're all going to be absolutely amazing at this and I am really looking forward to teaching you some French. So the first thing then, I want to have a look at your screen and give me a thumbs up if you can see Spartacus with his French flag. Can you see him? If you can, give me a thumbs up. Perfect. So you'll see then Spartacus with his little beret, his little French hat, holding his little drapeau de France, his little French flag. And if you look at the colours, you'll notice then that the French flag is blue, white and red. So lesson 1, what you should be able to do then by the end of the lesson is you should be aware that other languages are spoken, which I know you already are. So tick, we've already got that one sorted. That you are interested in other customs and cultures. And by the end of the lesson, you should be able to greet someone. So you should be able to say hello in French. So this is my friend and his name is Jean-Pierre. Can you say bonjour, Jean-Pierre? Bonjour. What do you think bonjour means? Have a think. Bonjour. Perfect, well done. It means hello. So it's a way that we greet somebody. So écoutez et répétez. So listen first and then repeat. Bonjour. You try it. Bonjour. Amazing work. So you might think, Jean-Pierre looks a bit familiar. I may have seen something similar in my Spanish lessons, and you would be absolutely correct because last term we had a puppet friend called Isabella. Do you remember her? Yeah, she used to join us for our Spanish lessons. So Jean-Pierre will be joining us for some French lessons. So, où est la France? Where is France? So have a look on the map in front of you, and you should be able to see a red country, which is the United Kingdom. And if you look just below there, you'll see a purple country, and that is France. And France is part of Europe. Où est la France? Where is France? So as I just said then, France is south of the United Kingdom. And if you have a look at the map in front of you, you'll see lots of little black dots all around France. And these are some of the main cities in France. And you'll see near the top a bigger black dot, and that is the capital city, which is called Paris. French is spoken in many other countries too, not just France. In fact, French is spoken in 29 other countries as their main language. And around 300 million people speak French in the world. So some of those French-speaking countries are Canada, Belgium, Madagascar, and Switzerland. So if you have a look at the map, it will tell you some other countries as well. So we're going to warm up by singing a little song. Now, we used to do this in Spanish. We used to sing the Hola Buenos Dias song. So now we're going to have a go at singing it in French. So have a look at the words on the screen. You'll see 2 words written in red and then below 2 words written in blue. I'm going to sing the words in red. I'd like you to repeat and sing the words in blue. Are you ready? Bonjour, bonjour. Salut, salut. Très bien, very good. Let's try again. So I'll sing it, you repeat after me. Bonjour, bonjour. Salut, salut. Très bien. Very good. So now we're going to sing it using the same tune that we used to sing it to in Spanish. So écoutez, listen, and then we'll have a go together. Bonjour, bonjour, salut, salut. Bonjour, bonjour, salut, salut. You have a go. Ready? Bonjour, bonjour, salut, salut. Bonjour, bonjour, salut, salut. And bonjour and salut are greetings. They are ways of saying hello in French. So, this is my friend Jean-Pierre. And Jean-Pierre has brought with him in his bag some things that we think of when we think of France. So if you have a look at the picture above Jean-Pierre's head, you will see a postcard of Disneyland. And people travel from all over Europe to visit Disneyland in Paris. If you look at the picture to the right of Jean-Paul's head, not Jean-Paul, keep calling him Jean-Paul today, Jean-Pierre. If you look to the right of Jean-Pierre's head, you will see lots of people on bikes. And this is a very famous event which starts in Paris, and it's called La Tour de France. And it's a huge race where lots of people cycle. If you look at the picture below, you will see a baguette. And a baguette is a very typically French or traditional French food. So if you look, it's a very long breadstick, and we do have them here, but they originated from France. Below the picture of the baguette is a picture of some money. Do you notice anything different about this money? It doesn't look like our money, does it? What's different? So if you have a look, you'll notice then that the money doesn't look the same as ours, and that's because here in England, we use pounds and pence, but in France, they use euros for their currency. So they use euros as their money to buy things. If you look at the picture below Jean-Pierre's feet, you will notice it is a cheese, a fromage. And France is very well known for its wide selection of cheeses that it produces. If you look at the picture in the bottom left corner, you'll see the Eiffel Tower. And the Eiffel Tower is a little trinket of the Eiffel Tower. It's not the actual Eiffel Tower. It's much, much bigger than that. The Eiffel Tower then is a very famous building in the centre of Paris, very, very, very tall, and it's a huge tourist attraction. And you can actually go up to the very, very top if you're brave enough. Above that picture, then, you will see what look a bit like pancakes, and these are called crepes. And crepes are very thin, sweet pancakes, and you can eat them with all sorts of different fruits like bananas, blueberries, strawberries. You can drizzle it with maple syrup, chocolate, all sorts of things, and they are absolutely delicious. And if you have a look at the final picture then in the top left corner, you will see what's called a beret. And a beret is a type of hat. And if you have a look at Jean-Pierre, he's actually wearing one himself. So what is France famous for? Well, we've just spoken about the Eiffel Tower, which is a very famous landmark in Paris. We've spoken about Disneyland, which is also in Paris. France is also famous for its manufacturing, so its making and building of cars, and in particular Peugeot and Renault are very popular French brands of cars. You'll also notice if you ever go to France or you meet a French person, when they greet you, they will give you 2 kisses, one on each cheek, and that is a very common way to express a greeting, to say hello in France when you meet somebody. And you'll also see a little bottle of perfume. So Chanel is a very famous brand of designer, and they make perfumes, and perfume is very, very popular. France is also famous for its love of sport. So as we spoke about earlier, La Tour de France is a big race where people ride their bikes around. And they're also very keen on football and also rugby. French food then. France is world known for its cuisine, which is in fact itself a French word. So France is famous for lots of different types of food. In particular, it's cakes and pastries. So you can see baguettes, you can see different cakes, you can see a croissant, and I know some of you tried croissants before. So very famous for its breakfast foods and its breads. Also very famous for its wines. So if you go to different areas of France, you'll often find wines are named after those areas. And have a look at the picture in the top right corner. Do you know what it is? Look closely. Have you got it? These are called escargots, and it is the French word for snails. So snails are a popular French dish as well. I've never tried them, but apparently don't knock it until you try it. But it's not something I think I'd fancy. So this is le drapeau de France. This is the French flag. And as we said earlier, it's made up of 3 colours. So it's made up of blue, white, and red. So normally, if we were in school now, I'd say to find a chatter chum for this next part of the lesson. But because you're at home, you can either talk to an adult who might be sat with you, or a sibling, a brother or a sister who might be sat with you, or if not, you can just talk to the screen. Okay, so just shout your answer out as if I'm listening the other end. So, can you say hello in French? Do you remember how to say it? We say bonjour. You have a go. Bonjour. Très bien. Very good. Now tell them something you have learned about France. So maybe you can remember how many other countries speak French. Maybe you can remember something that they eat in France. Maybe you could remember a sport that they enjoy in France. It could be anything. The colours of the French flag. Tell them something that you have learnt. Amazing. So the way to say goodbye in French is au revoir. You try it. Au revoir. Écoutez, listen carefully. Au revoir. Au revoir. You say it. Au revoir. Très bien. Very good. So, going to have a bit of a thinking task now. So, who is this puppy? Can I remember his name? Shout his name out. Excellent. It is Jean-Pierre. So you got it right. I got it wrong earlier. I kept calling him Jean-Paul, but his name is Jean-Pierre. And where do you think Jean-Pierre comes from? He comes from France. Well done. What makes you think this? If you're looking at his hat, I would say très bien. Very good. So think about the hat he's wearing, his beret. Think about what he's wearing, his t-shirt, and he's got a neckerchief on. So these are clothing or types of clothing that we typically associate with France. So I'm going to now show you a clip from a program called the Lingo Show. You might remember it. We did look at this before in Spanish as well. So I want you to listen, écoutez, listen very carefully. And when the little bug called jargonaise starts to speak, I want you to count how many French words you can hear. Okay, so count the French words that you can hear. Also, while she's saying these French words, it will be really good if you can have a go at repeating the words, so copying what she says. So we're going to listen to this 2 times. Okay, so this is the first time you're going to hear it. So remember, you need to count the French words on your fingers.
This is CBeebies on YouTube. Find even more fun and games for your child at the CBeebies website.
Okay, everyone. Okay, sit down. Quiet, please. Ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls. I'm so proud to bring you the biggest, the most lingo-tastic show in all of the Buzz Kingdom. Starring Chardonnays. The Lingo Show. The Lingo Show. New words, and then you'll know. All around the world we go. The Lingo Show.
Get ready to count.
Get ready to join in.
La chemise.
La chemise.
Le chapeau.
Chapeau.
Le fromage.
Fromage.
Keep
La
counting.
pomme.
Pomme.
Rouge.
Rouge.
Le singe.
Singe.
Le bateau.
Bateau.
Violet.
Violet.
1, 2,
1, 2, 3.
Okay, so did you manage to count all of the French words? You did? Right then, what we're going to do now is we are going to double check. So we're going to listen again and we're going to count again to make sure that we've got all of the words that we heard and counted them correctly. And remember, what I'd like you to do is repeat the words after Jargonaise. Okay, so have a go at repeating what she said.
Quiet, quiet, please.
Quiet, quiet,
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm
Birds
so
and
proud
girls.
to bring
I'm
you
so
the
proud
biggest,
to bring
the
you
greatest,
biggest,
the most
the greatest,
lingo-tastic
the
show
most
in
lingo-tastic
all of the
show
Kingdom.
in all of the Bug Kingdom.
Starring
Chardonnays.
The Lingo Show.
The Lingo
You
Show.
learn new words.
Learn
and
new
you'll know
words.
that all around the
All
world.
around the world.
The Lingo Show.
The Lingo Show.
You ready? Let's count and repeat.
Ready to join in.
Ready to join in.
La chemise.
La chemise.
La
Le
chemise,
chapeau.
Le chapeau.
le chapeau,
Fromage.
Le fromage.
le fromage,
Pomme.
La pomme.
la pomme, you do it.
Rouge.
Rouge,
Singe.
Singe.
le sage,
Bateau.
Bateau.
le bateau,
Violet.
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 2,
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
This is
And I'm
CBeebies
going
on
to stop
YouTube.
that
Find even
right here. So, what we're going to do now then is have a think. How many different French words did you hear Jargonaise say? So I counted 11. Did you get 11? Très bien. Well done. So we're going to move on now to the next task, which is an explaining task. So remember, if you've got somebody, tell them. If not, shout it out to the screen. So true or false? French is only spoken in France. French is only spoken in France. What do we think? Is it true or is it false? It's false. Do you know it's false? Well done. Can you remember how many countries speak French as their official language? I think. What was that? 29? Très bien. Well done. It was 29. Can you name any of them? So I could remember Madagascar, because it's one of my favourite films. I can remember Belgium and Canada and Switzerland. So if you'd like to, you could always have a look and see if you could find the names of any more and write them down. Your final task then today is, if you are feeling confident and you think that you could do this, have a go and send it in via Class Dojo to your teachers. I'd like you to have a go at making a video to introduce someone to France. So imagine somebody who doesn't know anything at all about France. You know lots now because you've been super listeners today. So you could tell them everything that you know about France. So you could talk to them about the French flag, the colours. You could talk to them about how many countries and which countries speak French. You could tell them all about French food. You could tell them all about what sports they like in France. You could talk to them about anything you've learnt about today. So if you're feeling confident and you're up for a challenge, make a video and send it in to us. Okay? So that's all from me today. what I'm going to do now is leave you, and I will see you next week for lesson 2 of French. So all that's left from me to say is merci beaucoup, which means thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson, and I look forward to teaching you again next week. Au revoir. You say it, au revoir.